I wish that I could assure you that our job will be done in a matter of mere weeks or months. But there are many reasons why I can't do that this afternoon, and it may help if I explain some of them to you. Without question, the work of the Commission was extremely thorough and detailed, but I think it's very important that everybody realizes that the Commission was only tasked with the duty of advising the Governor whether there was sufficient evidence to begin a thorough investigation.
Helen Garlick, special prosecutor who has been tasked with investigating the former ministers who were implicated during the Commission of Inquiry, says a trial by jury will not be likely. That's because of the country's small population and even smaller selection of jurors. Also because of the widely publicized Commission of Inquiry, which will make it almost impossible for a jury to provide impartial judgment on the much talked about and controversial soon-to-be cases.
I can say that it would be a great mistake and entirely without basis for anybody to suggest that this is going to be a matter that the prosecution will be able to decide arbitrarily. Whatever the final outcome and the final procedures are going to be, I can tell you now that it would be a matter of an application being made to a judge, an application that will be capable of being made by both the prosecution and the defense, and that the only criteria will be the need to have a fair trial. And a fair trial, of course, means a trial that's fair to both sides, to both the prosecution and the defense.
While the Commission's final report recommended criminal investigation and/or prosecution of former ministers, it also revealed some highly controversial and questionable relationships, transactions, and business deals which linked former ministers to a number of other people. What happens to them?
My philosophy of investigation, if you like, that I intend to apply to this case is not to target particular individuals, but to look at specific projects and to take it from there. And because of the particular necessity to conduct a speedy and focused investigation, I'm afraid it's going to be inevitable, as it is in any big investigation, that the decisions we make are not going to make everybody happy. People are bound to say, and I can predict this now, that people who should be perhaps the target for investigation and prosecution have been, unfairly left out of the picture. But we will try to be as sensitive as we can be to producing a result that does justice to the central recommendations of the report.
She said that despite the growing appeal for a prosecution following the Commission of Inquiry's findings, the Commission's main task was to advise the Governor on if there was sufficient evidence to proceed with an investigation. In her first 2 months, the Special Prosecutor says she will start by reviewing the data which was presented during the Commission of Inquiry.
The Commission, for perfectly understandable reasons, and indeed it complied at all times with the Turks and Caicos Islands Public Inquiry Ordinance, is able to receive as evidence information from a number of sources that are not available to a criminal investigation, because the rules of evidence, as many of you will know, are much stricter in both criminal and civil proceedings. In particular, the ordinance gives protection to people who become the subject of criminal or civil proceedings, in that any evidence they've given may not be used against them. These are just some of the reasons why it would be a mistake for anybody to think that we can simply take possession of the Commission's information, repackage it, and begin immediately to present it to either a civil or a criminal court.
Garlick has been on the island since August 10th working on the legal formalities associated with this investigation and leads the Special Investigations and Prosecutions team, which is charged with the responsibility of undertaking an independent criminal investigation. She will work under the mandates of the Attorney General Chamber's office. Garlick will be joined by a senior investigating officer who has already been sworn in as a constable in the Royal Turks and Caicos Police Force, and she will also be joined by a deputy prosecutor. The main challenge, says Garlick, is that the allegations are wide-ranging. Garlick says the work ahead will be difficult and complex. A website for the investigation has already been erected, asking anyone to give information. The prosecution's website is www.tci.sit.org. For WIV4 News, I'm Angie Toussaint.